Welcome to No Strings Attached Street Ministry. I have a request, and I've been getting a few of these requests all along, for a while now. So I figured I'll try to do a video on them. As you all know, before, way back when, I was a prepper, and some people even know me through that. I'm not a crazy prepper, but I do believe in protecting yourself and to keeping things on the up and up, if you know what I mean. Let me tell you about why I prep. So you hear about in the Bible, you hear of all the, especially in Revelations, about, the end times, and, how you're not going to be able to buy and sell, and how you're going to have to be on the run. It's going to be tough at those times of your life. And hopefully none of us in our lives will ever experience it. But if we've looked at the way things have changed in our government and in our neighbors and our friends, the way that they feel about different subjects, and you can see how the world is starting to be pulled apart and destroyed. The morals itself has been completely attacked and destroyed. We've had the media and the government lie to us over and over and over for 2 years now, or 3 years, or even longer, but noticeably this long. The media has run this bombardment of false information until it's almost sickening. But it's just crazy. So with that said, you can do your own research on that, and I'm sure then you'll be able to understand that it's at least coming to a point to where you may want to be concerned, at least for protection of you and your family. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. I'm not going to preach it as something that is the end times. It's not. That's all in God's hands. It's not in ours. But I'll tell you a few things that I do in the way my mind thinks on how I would protect my family and how I have protected my family. Number one, don't think you're going to get out here and get a bug out bag and start hiking across the country. It's just not going to happen. That's the most foolish move you'll ever make, because you leave your resources, you leave your community base, you leave everything behind, and now you're depending strictly on your own. If you say, well, Jim, there's food and things are going to come get scarce, and on and on and on. Okay, I understand that, but you know what? If you're bugging out, millions of others are bugging out too. And all the rabbits, the varmints, even the rats, and even the bunnies, they're all going to be gone very shortly. That's all going to be hunted out, trust me. Hunting is very good for the population of animals, but you understand it's conservative. It's a conservation effort that keeps them in line and keeps them tracked so they don't overpopulate and different things. But you can even research that as well. But what I'm saying is, if you have that many hungry families out there, I expect the United States could probably support its own. Maybe 6 months. I doubt it would even last that long, believe it or not. If it does come to that situation, I hope and pray that it comes during the winter time, to where we could use that resource to survive through the winter. But if that's the case, guys, you're going to have to become farmers. That's the only way to do it. You're going to have to become farmers, and good luck on trying to feed your family. It's going to get tough. You're not going to be eating all the fancy stuff you eat today. I guarantee you that. So you'll be going back to the old stool. Meat and potatoes, if you're lucky to have meat. Mostly a vegetarian diet, I would say. A lot of legumes, a lot of beans, a lot of grains. So with that said, you're not going to have refrigeration. You're not going to have a lot of different things that you're easily consumed today and you're enjoying. So you're going to have to look at things a little bit different. So start looking at, okay, what will last? What can I hold on to? What can survive over time? And then start prepping those items. But also, you have two different kinds of prepping, I believe. Number one, your food storage should always be stuff that you can eat on a regular basis. That way you rotate through it and then nothing goes bad, so on and so forth. But then you also have long-term storage. Things that you put up and you never touch. You might cycle it out every 20 years. And that's if it lasts that long. From varmints and rodents and you name it, anything, the heat, anything can destroy this stuff. So you have to protect it as well. But you look at things like that, and that's sort of how you have to prepare yourself. A lot of people say, well, Jim, how would you do that? Number one, if you have a store, say a store that's in your basement, let's say the government comes and starts taking all your guns and everything else away, trust me, they're going to come in. They already know who you are. They already know what you bought. They've tracked all this stuff. I mean, the government and the thing, they can track anything and everything that you can possibly even think about or fathom. They've already got you. It's not that they're going to get you. They've already got you. I guarantee you that. You think you're going to be, you think you're going to be safe and be a rebel and protect yourself? If you do have to get serious and bug out completely, this is what I suggest and what I expect for you to understand. When you leave your home, you will leave your home with nothing but the clothing that's on your back. Period. That's it. No kind of any way possible of any kind of way for them to track you. Do you think your driver's license is not trackable? Think again. Do you think your credit cards are not trackable? Think again. All your fiat monies are going to be worthless. You might as well burn it for firewood. You're going to have so much different things out there that you're going to have to fight through and think through. It's going to blow your mind. So sit down and really give it a thought right now, today. Pull up here at this park again. So let me just turn this off here. But, we talk about a lot of different things. But honestly, think seriously about how you can do it without being noticed or tracked. I mean, I'm sitting here right here at this park, and in this park I can look around because I know what I'm looking for. I can look around and I'll tell you what, there is 8 cameras, wide angle cameras, probably even adjustable, that can be searched and monitored and probably even recorded of every movement and every moment that the people walk on this park facility. From the drive from my house to this park, which was probably less than a mile, I bet I passed 50 different closed circuit TV or cameras. I went through 4 red lights. So again, well, every single one of them are recorded, so they can track you. You think you're going to go down the highway? No, every single mile, you'll find a tower, and on top of that tower is a camera. I know this for a fact because when I was broken down, when the rescue guy actually drove by, he says, well, they sent me from the monitoring station. I says, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, see that tower up there? They got cameras up there. They look all up and down this highway. And if they see someone stranded here for a while, then they send me by to make sure that you're okay. But yeah, you're on candid camera the whole trip you're on here. Even your exits and entrances to the highway are being filmed. Everything is being recorded. This is the age of gathering information. And believe me, they control and they track every single thing. They track every single thing you say. You think you're not being heard and recorded from just your normal conversations with your family? Trust me, they got ways of even listening and watching you even through your own camera and your own microphone that you carry in your pocket every single day. So they've got a lot of different technology out there that will completely smoke your mind. And one thing I always said, if you know about it, even the stealthiest communications, the stealthiest stuff that you could possibly think the government can have on you, that's already obsolete. Think about all the stuff they've already got that you don't even have no clue about. They got satellites. They can come right down. They can beam from hundreds of miles in the sky, come down and not only sit right here beside us, zoom in and catch my partner sitting in the back of my van and record and visually take a look at everything that they are saying as well. Think about that. You can do it too. You don't think so? You can't get all the features, but you can get enough to show you exactly what they do. Go on Google Earth. Go down to the roadside view. Check your house out. Zoom in, move around. You'll be able to inspect every inch of your property at any angle. Go check it out. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But this is stuff that I'm trying to tell you. If you think you're going to run and hide, I don't think it's going to happen. But let's just say you do. I guarantee you won't have anything on your body. You might be able to dupe and scoop and hide here and there and crawl underneath a gutter or whatever in a cave. Who wants to live that way? So in turn, you want to stay stealth where they can't record you and view you and to track you electronically anyway. So you do that and you just stay calling it being stealth in broad daylight in the line of sight. Hide right out in the middle of them. It's the only way you're going to do it. So how to be stealth? No, how to survive. Stealth is tricky. That's going to be tricky. How do they know where your cars are at, what you're doing there? How do you hide all this stuff? How do you protect your assets? I mean, think about what they're trying to do is get all your assets to a certain point to where, boom, they can turn you off any second. Think about if they go digital currency, what's going to happen? If you get out of line or something like that, boop, you don't want to follow their rules, boop, they just turn you off. You no longer can buy, you can no longer sell, you can no longer do anything. So, truth's truth, man. You know, that's the way it is. And anyone think it's not, you're ridiculously crazy. This is no conspiracy theory stuff. I'm telling you the truth. Everything I'm telling you, you can easily verify. All you gotta do is open your eyes. Well, so much for the stealth thing. Good luck on that. Hope you survive. I really do. But anything of your assets that we're talking about, like your car and all this stuff, put it into a corporation, a dummy corporation. Open up a corporation. Never tie your name to anything. Never, in any way, form, or fashion. Have it done by somebody else privately through somebody else. You would set your corporation up, slowly sell all your assets to the corporation at different ways. Sell it to your brother, sell it to your cousin, sell it to your next door neighbor, have him sell it to the corporation. But you can move this stuff into a corporation, and I'm sure they can even track that if they want to. I'm sure they can. You're not going to get smarter than them that they are. too many algorithms out there that'll tattletale on you in a heartbeat. So, good luck on doing that. But if you do, have it in corporation. That way they know, hey, there's Jim Daniels' car. It's not Jim Daniels' car. That's ABC Corporation's car. You see what I'm saying? Anyone and everybody that's part of that corporation can drive that car. So it could be anybody in that corporation. Use their tools against them. Turn it around. Be creative. Find ways to do that. To use their surveillance tools to defeat their efforts and to use it against them. That's the only chance you'll have. So if you are a techie type of guy that can operate computers and can do hacking and all this stuff and control all these cameras and things, you know what, you've got them. You're worth millions, man. If something would ever happen, you would be worth it all. That's your heart of gold, trust me. As for power, you can always get solar. I would recommend solar because it's quiet. If you got a generator, make sure it's a little tiny generator that you can't hear more than 50 feet away. Keep your fuel, keep it stabilized. Always switch it out. Always, cycle it through. Keep it fresh and clean. That way one day if you ever do run out, and even that's going to be temporary because eventually you won't be able to even find the fuel to run it. So that's why I say solar is your best. Not only have one solar, but have maybe 2 or 3 different kinds of solar systems. Because remember, 1 equals none. 2 equals 1. So be redundant in that. Have ways to repair that stuff when it breaks. Protect it with everything you have. Make sure to learn how to fully use it and get all the benefits you can out of it. Learn your best how to survive without it. That's the key. Did you know you could actually generate light like an LED just by using copper wiring and nails in a tree? The tree will give you the energy. You just have to look back in my videos, and I've got videos about just that. And you'll be able to search it and find out how to do just that. You can do a potato battery. You'd be surprised what you can make in this world. So you're going to have to use this kind of technology maybe one day. So this is information that you should have in your head. I do a lot of exploring. I do a lot of research. That's my passion. So I'm always wanting to learn new, different ways and different tricks. So take your time when you do that and do some studying. Find this stuff out. Because you know what? My whole body is broken down. I'm not going to be too good of a farmer. But when I set up with my community to help them out to survive as a community, I'm going to be very valuable to them because I have the knowledge how to do all this. I'm going to be the wise old man that's going to tell them how to do things and instruct them how to do it and how to get through it. That's going to be my value to the community. And I'll be very sought after and very protected at that point. So become that way. Become the same way. Learn how to purify water. Learn how to do all kinds of things. All right, what about a currency? Think about a currency. Fiat currency? Nah, it's just going to be a way for them to turn you on and off. Don't waste too much money into it. Play with it right now because you'll probably end up getting filthy rich. Because by playing in it, you could. Because it's just now getting started, Joe. You're at the grassroots of everything, so it's going to take off. Do some research. You'll see what Bitcoin just did, not too long ago. I mean, if you had $5 invested in Bitcoin back in what, 2000? You'd be a multimillionaire by now. I mean, honestly, you'd be a millionaire. Or even a billionaire, who knows? So, but that is so flaky, I can see it crashing and burning. You have to keep an eye on it every day. But it's a thought. The reason that cryptocurrencies are actually even invented, I believe, I think a lot of it is being done probably by the underworld. And I think a lot of the reason that they do that is because they're always coming up with different ways and new ways how to launder money or move money. You know, they, even though they have a very profitable businesses like drugs and all that stuff, they can't get rid of that money. They can't spend it because it throws up too many flags. You know, they can't even put it in a bank somewhere because if they make deposits, they got to show where that money came from. That's the way the banks are now these days. You know, they're asking for all that information. They're tracking it in and out. So it's pretty crazy, you know, when you think about it. Even just get rid of regular cash. Cash always was good for the underpayment of the mobsters and people in that ring. And they still use it. I mean, come on. Hussein had like, what was it, $1 billion in cash sitting in his bedroom. You remember the pictures of that? Where it was a whole room stacked up to his waist of nothing but $100 bills in different currencies across the world. That's all that's good for them. And what happened? He never got to spend a penny of it. So was it worth having it? I don't know. That's for hearsay. I mean, I think if you have over $1 million, you got more than what you could ever spend anyway. I mean, you got everything you need. Everything is all the fancies and the glories of the world. Trust me. When the shit hits the fan, all that's going to be basically gone. So you're going to be just like me, sitting on the side of the road. You might get a little bit of special treatment. And what people don't understand is in this country, we the people. Remember that. If we the people stand up, no matter who we are, what kind of life that we stand for, if we have one moralness to respect our other brother human beings and to not harm them, have an oath and a pact to not harm them in any way. Well, these big corporations and these big wigs that have these billions and billions of dollars that try to control this world are soon going to be right with us because they're not going to have no one to even back them. You got to realize what gives them the power is the manpower behind them that's willing to stand up with them and go out there and collect their money. Banks that will hire people to go out and repossess their so-called goods. But if there's no one out there to go and repossess that good, do you think that little peon banker is going to come out to my house and tell me I can't stay at my house anymore? I don't think so, especially if you don't have anyone backed up behind him, like 50 officers of the law. But you know what? Officers of the law can also be treated that way as well. And they will. You think you're protecting it now? All you're doing is harming yourself because eventually they're going to come after you as well. And they'll squash you just as easy. So that's just the way you have to look and think about things, you know. Armies, you know, how many armies are going to, how many sergeants and privates are going to be out there holding a weapon against their own country and their own brothers and sisters, you know, trying to get them to stand down or to submit. These are things you have to really think of. And the thing is, if we start teaching each other and respecting each other in such a way to where we love each other but we will not step on each other and hurt each other, a lot of this nonsense can't take place. We the people. That's why no country has ever come against us, because almost every household in America's got a weapon. What army is going to walk down our streets and come house to house and jerk us out? It might start off that way, but I guarantee you the word's going to get around, and there's going to be a lot of boys having their pistols and stuff sticking out the hole in the window as these armies start walking down the road. And they'll sacrifice themselves just to take a couple of them out. Do that, them armies ain't going to last very long. You get what I'm saying? All right, well, how to survive without cash? Well, my opinion, what I've done is I buy gold necklaces. I mean, you have gold, you have silver. Your money is going to burn up. The newer money today, it's going to be worthless. Honestly, it will be worthless. Assets, is it really going to be obtainable? Is someone going to come steal it? What it can still melt away. Let's say that you live in your van, all right, and you've condensed all your assets down to gold coins, because gold was probably the one thing that will not and cannot be destroyed in any way, form, or fashion. So you use gold coins. And let's say you have a safe that's welded and bolted in place inside that van where no one can even get into it or access it. And let's say even if it goes right down to a point to where the van burns to the ground. And let's say it burns everything inside that safe, even though you have a fire resistant safe, and it burns completely down. Guess what? It'll melt your gold, but your gold's still there. All you got to do is troy ounce gold. You can always use it and sell it for something. But the biggest thing that I use is actually gold chains. How are you going to break down a coin that's worth $20,000 and you want to buy bread with that? You're not going to give them a $20,000 coin to buy a loaf of bread, which you probably could, or that's probably how bad it's going to get. So I think just getting good quality high carat gold chain with big links. And what you do is you take those links and you cut that chain in about 1-inch pieces. And you know what? To save it, keep your pair of dikes on you. And if someone says, hey man, I'll trade you some gold for that bread. All right, well, cut them off one of the links and swap it out for that load of bread. How they store it, well, that's their problem, from then on. It's not in your hands anymore. But it's still a way of using it. But people say, well, Jim, I'll lose that stuff if it's like that. Well, yeah, you probably will, but you also got a keychain. See those little rings on your keychain? Why couldn't you just roll that 1-inch pieces through this and hang them on your keychain? And have a big giant one even if you want, with maybe 100 of them on that keychain. It keeps them all together, it keeps it safe, you can watch it, you can store it, you can, carry it with you if you want. You can even have other little sub pieces attached to it, to where if you're going out for the day, you need a few just to make sure you have some. You can take one of the smaller rings off the big ring. Now you got something to barter with and get by with. Your most valuable barter? Cigarettes and alcohol. Trust me. Might sound crazy, but that's how everyone's dealt with their stress their whole life, and it will come back, trust me. You get men bored, nothing to do, trying to survive and hard working out there in the heat and the sweat and everything else in the world. That's the only pleasure they have. That's all going to come back. But it's going to have to be to where you raise it. The best thing you can do is store seeds. You get seeds. Seeds are your most important asset you could possibly have, in my opinion. As you can store enough seeds to plant 100 5-acre gardens and store them in a very small area and protect them well by vacuum packing. I use vacuum packs. Now my stores that I use, I've made about 75 different stores that I've got buried all over the place. These stores are made out of PVC piping. They're thin-walled PVC piping because it was cheaper. And 2 end caps. And they're glued on. They're glued on. After they're filled, they're glued on. Now inside those I have food that's vacuum packed. I have beans, legumes, I have rice, I have oats, and I have flour, the oat berries. And I have, I think, what is it, like a pound and a half of each one, maybe 2 pounds. And it's all stuffed down inside this PVC pipe. A couple of them, I've even got some rifles stuffed down in there. And I've got some ammunition stuffed in them. I've got some gold coins stuffed in them, silver coins, mostly silver. I'm not rich, so I have very little gold. My gold that I mostly carry is what I'll be carrying with me on the ring. But the silver is also a very thing. Make sure that you can even use silver coins from the old days. Just go to the coin shop and buy the old coins that are actually silver. Those work very well. They hold their value very well. So that's something else that can be melted down and twisted and turned and not be lost. So that's why I say those two commodities are very value for your storing in the way of thinking. They'll go greatly up and down in price, and but the thing is you have it in your hands. So that's why all the investors on Wall Street, that's why they invest in gold. And anytime things get scary, they run straight to gold. And that's where they put their money for a while until things calm down. Because it's safe, it's not going to be eaten up. So, but you take those caches and you seal them. You can think of anything you want to put in them. You can put maybe a pistol in each one of them, or fire starters and stuff like that you can pack in there. Maybe some energy bars, something that you think will last a long time, and also that would be vital to your survival if you are out on the road hiking and you want to store ammunition. You don't want to store hundreds of rounds of ammunition in each one. No, it's a cache. It's something to get you to the next cache until you get where you're going. If you have your house, and let's say grandma's house is 5 states away, and that's your bug out location because it's out in the country and that's where you want to set up your homestead, then have enough in each cache to get you to grandma's house. To each, just work your way up by using your caches. That's why you put them out there. Oh, and if you're going to use PVC, do what I did. I vacuum packed 2 of the hacksaw blades. And I didn't put no hacksaw in. I just put the blades. I put 2 blades in each one of them, but I vacuum packed the blades and I duct taped them to the outside. Completely coated them with duct tape. Sealed them in. That way all I got to do is peel off and try to get the blades off, out of the side of it. The reason I seal it in with duct tape all the way around, just round, and I seal it, that way it's not going to rust on me. That way if I pick that cache up 25, 30 years from now, those saw blades are still going to be there, an ability to get me through, to get me to open that up and cut it open. So use your head when you think of things like this, But that's just an idea. That's my idea. Now you can do as you please. You can come up with any kind and everything. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars building you an underground shelter and storing a mountain of food in there if you want. But the way I look at it is, if you put it there and only one person knows about it, that one person can easily tattle on you if they're getting any kind of a bribe to give it up. Trust me, your son, your brother, your mother, your father, your wife, who knows who's going to give you up? Read the Bible. It warns us about all this. Who can you really trust? My opinion, trust you. And unfortunately, only you. Love those around you. Love those that are sticking with you. Love those in your clan. But you know what? If they walk away, learn to walk away. That's all you can do. You just have, if they choose to walk away or to deceive, hope you survive the deception. But you're just going to have to walk away. That's all. It's sad, but that's just the way it is. But being stealth is probably your smartest move. If you're going to use a generator, like my little friend said, hey, don't think you're going to be using that generator to create light in the middle of the night. They're going to see where you're at. They're going to follow you. Only use that generator to charge a battery. And then only use that battery to charge the small batteries. You know, like your headlamps and things that you can turn on, turn off in just a few clicks here and there and get you through, get little small flashlights. And just enough to give you enough illumination to do what you need to do. You don't need to light up the entire sky when you turn it on. You know, be stealthy. Use the cheapest stuff you could possibly find, because trust me, you're not going to afford all this stuff. Unless you're millionaires. I know I sure couldn't afford it all. I've got 2 of everything, but that's 30 years of accumulating too. I've got 2 of the little Harbor Freight solar panel kits. I got 2 of them that I bought many, many, many years ago. And I even opened up the boxes. They're still packed in the boxes, because I don't want nothing to happen to them. So they're all packed in the boxes, all nice, neat, and everything there. But I have more of a chance of them working when I need them to work than not. Yeah, they're only 45 watt systems, but you know what? 45 watts to get lights and things like that. That can go a long ways, trust me. Especially when you're using LED lights and you're using different things like that. It's enough to charge a battery up. And you can always find a battery inside your car, whatever. If it's a 12-volt battery, you can charge it. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. Always use your little inverter. Anything and everything you could possibly get. Always get stuff that will run on 12 volts without an inverter. Inverters are always your second best, but 12 volts is your best. So if you have a 12-volt kettle, if you have a 12-volt watch, or a clock, or whatever, or whatever you use, make sure it's 12 volts. That way you can hook it up to your battery, raw, right off the battery. That way, even if the charger quits working, well, you can always plug it right to your battery. You run your solar panels directly to that. As long as you maintenance it, turn it off once in a while and let it drain down a little bit, and then charge it back up. It's going to be very unlikely you'll burn the battery out, especially with a small wattage charger. But use the power, make it, test it, see what it would take you, see what, how long it will last you, what you can do with it. Figure all this stuff out now before you get to it. I got little 12-volt DC pumps. I got one that can pull 30 foot and push 5 feet. So it pulls up from the ground 30 feet and it pumps upward 5 feet. And I think it does something like 2 gallons a minute. It's a pretty powerful little pump, and it does pretty good. It's a washdown pump for a boat. That's what it is. And I can hook a garden hose up to it, drop the garden hose down the well, use the other end to make a small garden hose to fill up buckets or whatever I need to do to flush the toilet. And I pull right out of my well at the house. That can be the best water in the world, but it's livable water. And I don't have to travel to go to a lake or a canal or something like that to get water. If I'm at a point to where I don't, I don't dig a well. Look at, hand digging shallow wells, and you'll get creative and you'll find different ways and do it. I mean, yeah, you can go to the stores and buy this kind of stuff, but look at the ways that they do it primitively. Get your mind thinking right. How you can use just standard PVC and cut grooves in the end of the PVC and use it as a drill point. I mean, it's so much you can do out there, guys. Just have to use your head. Learn, learn, learn. Remember, information is your key. That's the goal of it all. What else can we talk about? But the biggest thing that I would have to still stress deeply, you're not going to survive on your own. Don't think you're going to take off and run out into the woods and live like a caveman, and maybe someone that's been in the army, that kind of training, and has that kind of training, maybe they have a chance to survive short term doing that. But I tell you what, ask a few of them that's been through boot camp, that's experienced a weekend like that. They'll tell you how tough it is. I've seen grown men cry like little girls, man. I mean, it's not easy, trust me. And when you have to survive on that, trust me, you'll end up dying. But you know the statistic? I think they say, what is it? In the United States, every 1 acre grass property, 1 acre of property, of natural property, is enough to sustain a human being for life. You'll be able to harvest enough edibles off of that 1 acre of property to be able to literally feed yourself and take care of yourself. And if you dig a well, hope and pray that you'll probably hit water within 100 feet. And you'll probably do that in most places, especially if you have a stream or a river or something close by. There's many ways of drilling, digging a hand well, a filtered hand well, within 5 feet from the riverbank, and have pure, clean, drinkable water, and not have to worry about all the crap that's in that water that will kill you. But you have to do these kind of researches and find out just what I'm talking about and how to do it. You're going to have to do some researches on how they went over into Africa and taught these people how to use the natural products to be able to build a good sand filter, how to filter this stuff out, and the kind of materials that you use to do just that, and why you use those materials. I mean, water is your number one, baby. If you ain't got water, you die. In 3 days, you're dead. I don't care who you are. That's what they say. You can survive up to 3 minutes without air. You can survive up to 3 days without water, and maybe 3 months without food. Depends on how much fat you got. But I'd probably be able to survive a year. I got plenty of storage already. See, I'm a prepper that way as well. But yeah, that shows. I mean, believe me, if you start fasting and starving, anyone that's done fasting, after a week, I guarantee you're so weak you can't even hardly stand up. I mean, your mind's not quite right. There's a lot of things going on. Watch these programs like Naked and Afraid and stuff like that, and watch the people how they deteriorate right before your eyes. I mean, it's tough. I mean, there's even survivalists they got out there that does this on programs, and these are trained professionals can do it, and they still have a hard time. What was that, Canterbury or whatever his name was? I mean, I'm sure you've seen those movies before, but those are the kinds of things you can test and see what's actually happening out there. But this kind of information is always good to have. It's good to know what to expect. That's why I say you're better off sticking right where you're at and dealing with the little things that you got to deal with right there at home. Because it's easy to defend your own property, or defend your neighborhood, and stick up with your buddies and your friends, and know who's there. Know that you can count on them as much as they can count on you. Find out who you're going to have to take out and who you're not going to have to take out. Find out who the traitors are. And believe me, you'd be surprised how many, even close dear friends of yours, will cut your throat. Well, I experience that all the time anyway. But I keep those close to me. Remember, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies even closer, where you can keep an eye on them. I'm not smoking these. It's just a habit. I light them up. That's why I use the cigars. Like the last one you saw was only halfway done, and I lit it, 5-10 times just on this video. Take maybe a puff off of it, and it goes back out. Like I said, it's just a habit. I'm sorry if that grosses some people out, but it's something I think I've just sort of come to peace with it, and it's probably what's going to kill me in the long run anyway. But seeds. Remember that. You want vegetable garden seeds. You want seeds to sprout. You want seeds to where you can survive even inside, and growing them in the dark. Trust me. Learn how to do sprouts and shoots. Microgreens. Learn the trade. Learn how to do it. Grow them. Make sure you know how to grow them. Learn how to grow them on just a piece of screen. Seriously, just a piece of screen. Not a bit of dirt in there. They got enough energy inside that seed to at least grow it to a point where you'll get the nutrition out of that. So, do some research on this kind of stuff. It's good knowledge to have. You know what? The thing is with seeds, as long as you get good heirloom seeds, you can capture those seeds off of your plants. In other words, say you want tomatoes. So you plant one seed, you get a tomato plant, which will probably produce, 30, 50 tomatoes, maybe on that one plant. You eat 45 of them, you take 5 of them down, you tear them apart, you get all the seeds out, you dry the seeds up, completely dry them out in the sun, and you dry them until they're completely dried, and then you store them up in a nice cool spot somewhere. Come back and check them in a few days, make sure they didn't sprout. If they sprouted, they wasn't dry enough. Next year comes around, there's your starter seeds for next year. Do the same thing over and over and over and over and over, year by year by year. That's what most old-time farmers did. And they did that with cucumbers. I mean, anything and everything that grows has a seed. So if you got something favorite, like rhubarb, let's say, grow rhubarb. Find out how to treat and how to save the seeds for that rhubarb. If you like corn, find one that grows well in your area and grow corn. Most all corns are not hybrid. I mean, they're commercial seeds. It'd be almost impossible, I think, to get a heirloom seed in corn anyway these days, because it's been mass changed. The DNA has been changed so much that it's probably what you're going to get. But wheat berries, that's their seed, is the berry. Oat berries, the same way, and save any grains. Always save as the grain, never broken down or processed. The more raw you keep it, the longer it will last in storage. Just remember that. And then you can use it and do with whatever you need to do with. You can take the oat berries. You can grind the oat berries up. You can make oat milk out of it. You can do a lot with stuff like that. Go back in my older days and you'll see a lot of those prepping ideals. Those are really good videos. If you sit and watch them, you'll really learn a lot. That's why I do these videos, is try to teach people. But anyway, I'm sure this one's going on forever, and I'm sorry about dragging these all out, but I wanted to get a lot of good information in the videos. I'm not one to just pump out videos. I want you to spend time in these videos and learn and watch them all the way through. Don't get bored in them and just turn them off, because the next 30 minutes that you missed, that's probably where all the valuable information you're going to get is out of. The ones that sound like just a crime video at the beginning might end up being a very blessed video for you and touch your heart at the end, or even in the middle. You never know. I'm just that way. I'm all over the board. Anyway, there's another video for you to think about and to try to absorb. And hopefully you like that one. Remember, down in the description you'll find my information if you want to help support this channel. I will put my PayPal link and also my Cash App link in there. Remember, the Cash App link starts with the $sign. And it has to have the $sign on it if you're going to search for my name. But it should come up. And remember, it's James Daniel. So there's many ways you can do that, even Walmart, whatever. There's so many ways you can send to me and help me out. Write me an email, and I'll give you my address if you need, whatever. Help you that way. Call me. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. I want to be your friend. We'll sit and chat for hours, trust me. I spend a lot of hours every week talking to buddies just like you. So, you know, you're my online family, and I treat you like my family, and I'm always open to you that way. And I get some the craziness, you know, but it's usually just a bunch of kids playing around. So, you know, eventually I'll block them off and not be bothered with them no more. If you do ever call me, I will not answer right off. I just get too much spam calls these days. Be sure to leave me a message and I will call you back, I promise. So make sure you leave your contact information, who you are, and how to get a hold of you, and your name, and I will return your call. Promise you. Then I'll put you in my phone as a contact, and you'll have your own personal little line directly right to me. And anytime you call me at that point on, I will answer that phone and gladly talk to you. If you text me, I'll gladly talk to you. It's just the way I am. Ask a bunch of them that already do. We have some very good relationships out there. And I love each and every one of them. And I always will. But, hey, stay cool, alright? Learn your best. Never remember, panic is not good. Fear is never fear. If you've got your spirit correct, God's got your heart. He will see you through no matter what you do. Even if it's coming along and finding someone like myself that has thought it out and thought through, that will take you in and be a part of their community. God will protect you. God will save you. God will provide. He always does. He always has. He always will. So, needless to say, adios to all of you. Hope you all have a great day. And until next time, thanks for watching.